Hey everybody! Let's talk today about having a really smooth time through maintenance. So I started off on the 2.5, lost almost all of my weight on it, and then less than a month before my goal weight, went to the 5.0, and I've pretty much been on the 5.0, couple little changes, but mostly the 5.0 for the last year. So this week I hit 1 year at goal weight, my anniversary. What I was thinking about today, and I wanted to come and just share some thoughts with you. They're not really scripted. I'm just going to talk from my heart for a few, but things have went pretty smoothly for me psychologically over the next year. And I wanted to share some things with you to hopefully help your journey be just a little more joyful, a little bit easier, especially for those of us who carried around a body that was obese, that didn't seem to match our head and our heart and how we felt inside. And we kind of worked our whole lifetime trying to make kind of the outside portray what was in our hearts. But because of the overwhelming food chatter, because of the addiction to food, because we never felt full, because we woke up and went to sleep hungry, we just did not get the normal life like some of our friends and family got. And now it's come to us. And what I'm hearing from a lot of people in our community is the psychological struggle of, I think I'm going to gain the weight back. I don't know how to look at the person in the mirror and know that that's me. I don't want to get rid of my big clothes. I am afraid about how people are going to react to me when I talk about being on the drug. I don't really trust that this is real. So I just wanted to let you know kind of where I'm coming from, and then let's just have a talk about it. Feel free to throw in the comments things you've been dealing with, because if you're dealing with it, probably somebody else has too. But I also tried everything and lost. And so that doesn't mean Amy is a loser, but that's really tough because it starts defining who you are. When you try to do something in high school, which was, for me, that was the late 80s, early 90s. I tried really hard and I wanted it really badly and it didn't work. And then in college, and then I started having kids, and now I'm in my 20s and I'm in my 30s and I'm in my 40s. And my granddad kept a 5-year diary. So I started one 4 years ago. And you know how you never stick with anything, or at least if you're me, you have a lot of really good ideas and they don't always go long term. I have not missed one single day in my diary in 4 years, which shocks me as much as anybody. But when I go back, and for instance, last night, last week, 2 weeks ago, it is so touching and emotional to read what Amy wrote in her diary 2 years ago and 3 years ago, because it helps me define me and helps me understand me. Y'all, I always believed in myself. And I think that has helped spill over into the Mounjaro days, because even though I had tried so many times and it didn't work, even though I had white knuckled it and I had eaten healthy for 2 or 3 days, I would write in there like, I am 2 days strong. I am 3 days strong. I had no sugar today. I did not binge today. Like, I'm doing this, exclamation point. I think it was that same girl that sat down with John one day and he said, you know what? Somebody in my family was just given this prescription for something called Mounjaro. We're both like, well, let's look this up. We had not heard of it. It had been FDA approved for diabetics back in May. Doctors were finding that not only was it helping people's A1C levels like dramatically improve, but they were finding that also it was really helping with weight loss. And people who typically just felt hungry all the time, it was giving their brain like this satiation. Like, hey, I just had a normal sized meal and I feel fine. I'm not fixated on food. I'm just gonna go on with my day until the next meal, which is, right, so opposite than the life that they had lived. And so I remember exactly where the table was, which Starbucks in America we were at. John, do you remember? We sat there and we're like, how do you spell this? How do you pronounce this? We started looking into it, and the clinical data is there. The clinical trials were there. First we try it out in first stage, and we try it out over this many people, and then second stage. And then when it gets to third stage, we're talking hundreds, thousands of people, and they bring to you the data of like, what were their side effects like? What were the benefits? How did their body respond? And we got excited, and John went to his doctor and started in the very end of October 22. I started December 1st of 22. But I think the thing to always remember is that you're worth it. You are worth it. And if you don't want to tell anybody, that is totally your business. And if you want to be like me, and every teacher who stops me in the hallway and is like, oh, like, you look great. Like, what are you doing? I mean, a genuine question. And I say to them, well, my doctor put me on this shot. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Mounjaro. And then I typically will give them a 30-second spiel of Amy's life before Mounjaro and then what it's done for me. And I really appreciate the sincerity, and some of them ask follow-up questions. Some of them are asking questions for themselves. Some of them are asking questions for their children or for their spouse or for somebody in their family or for a friend that they hold dear. And so I just wanted to share with you that you have one life to live. This is your life. You get to choose how you live every day. You get to wake up every morning, kind of choose your attitude. I think about people who have just had things happen to them they did not deserve, sadness, oppression, and if anyone deserved to get to decide to lay in bed all day, it could be them. And instead, they wake up every day and say, you know what? I choose to get up. I choose to smile. I choose to be optimistic. I choose to use this day the best way I can because it's a gift, and tomorrow it's gone. And psychologically, for those of us who carried a lot of weight during our lives and now we're this new person in this new body, for a lot of us, people are treating us differently. People we've known a long time and strangers treating us differently. We look in the mirror. Oh, y'all, you think that I could pull it together after all this time? We look in the mirror and it's so starkly different from anything we saw before. I have in my notes for my next weekly update. I wore a skirt last week. It went above the knee. Like, what? Anyway, it's early morning. I'm getting ready for work. I have like the most sleepy eyes, and I'm shooting this picture because I just want to share with y'all that, like, whose legs are those? Like, I don't know those legs. The other girl, I know her well. I looked in the mirror at her thousands of times. How many times have I talked to y'all about looking down at my legs crossed? Like, it's a new life. It's a new you. And so I want you to embrace it, and I want you to lean in and connect and plug in with others who know what you're going through and talk through those tough times when maybe you don't feel worthy and maybe this all feels like a dream. But whether you've already started your journey, whether you're considering if it's for you, maybe you've already hit your goal weight and we're all trying to do that maintenance dance and figure out how to maintain, which is definitely a new chapter we hadn't read before. I just want to tell you that you are completely worthy, and this is your life. And the way our brains worked for so long, we've absolutely been given a gift from Eli Lilly and from Novo Nordisk, and we have a better future waiting ahead for us because we have better health. We have more to offer those around us, more we're able to do. I love the stories of you talking about, somebody was just telling me yesterday, hey, gardening is a lot easier than it was. Or I get on the ground and I play with my kids. I get on the ground, I play with my grandkids. Like, those stories do not get old. So that's been our video for today. You just take this new you, and psychologically we're going to work through it together because you deserve this new peace and this new happiness. Okay, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day.